We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football rebel outpost, the home for the college football sickos, with a donation to help us keep the lights on. Hit that $sign where you make a comment, and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. It is week 9 watch party. The Indiana Hoosiers, number 2 in the country, versus the upstart, the hot, holy smokes, the UCLA Bruins. That is going to be our primary game. Our secondary game is going to be Nebraska and Northwestern. We've been doing some SEC games. We've been doing some Big 12 games. We've been doing some ACC games. It's time to circle back and do a couple of Big 10 games on week 9, October 25th. Welcome in, everybody. This is the first watch party other than the playoff game. We did all the playoff games here at PATC. Other than the Indiana-Notre Dame playoff game, this is the first Hoosiers watch party regularly season game we've had since Kirk Cignetti came on the scene. So we had to make sure we did the Indiana Hoosiers, and I think this is a good spot for them. They are 24.5-point favorites. They're supposed to whoop up on the UCLA Bruins. Fernando Mendoza, we at Peek Around the Corner, we've got him number 3 on the Heisman watch list. We do think there is a little bit of a separation between Mendoza and Dante Moore, Haynes King, and Diago Pavia. Sayin, Simpson, and Mendoza, we believe, are the clear top 3 heading into week 9. So this is a spot where Mendoza is supposed to mop up on the Bruins, right? Right? However, this is college football. However, this is PATC watch party. However, we expect to play the mariachi music in the middle of the third quarter, which means the game is within 10 points in the middle of the third quarter. We at PATC expect to be playing the mariachi music. And then maybe after that, the Hoosiers will explode. Bill G starts us off. Holy smokes. 5 gifted memberships. D5 Terps, Michael Tasman, Joe Peck, Scott P., and Marcella. You are all received a membership by the incredible generosity of Mr. Bill G. When you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Bill G in the chat room. Please do that. Thank you, Bill G. All of you are knighted. Early here, Saturday, October 24th. All of you are knighted officially. Cloak and Dagger. Go to our library of episodes and watch all of them. Thank you, Bill G. I appreciate it. Let's do a quick roll call. Thank you, Bill G, for starting us off today. Steel Austin is in the house. Jose is here. Don Scruggs. Ryan Brooks. I did see that kick. I saw the highlight of that kick. Vanderbilt student goes up there and kicks a field goal, and that thing was a missile. That kid, most likely a soccer player or high school kicker or whatever. Not a very tall kid, but man, that kid had a leg on him. That ball, I think that would have been good from 45 yards out. I do not know how long that kick is on College Game Day. If somebody knows, put the answer in the chat. I do not know. I don't know if it's a 25-yarder. I don't watch Game Day, but I did see the highlight. What a kick. What a kick. Jonathan Anderson is in the house. The Longhorns make a statement today in Mississippi. That might happen, Mr. Longhorn Anderson. But there is another story out this morning from an NFL insider. I regret not to have her name. I'll look up later for it. Who is reporting this morning that Steve Sarkisian agent is letting everybody know in the NFL that his client is interested in becoming a head football coach. And it sounds like the Tennessee Titans job is one of those jobs. So, I don't know how Jonathan Anderson feels about that, but the Longhorns make a statement in Mississippi. Could be, possibly. John Till, Mr. Bruin himself. Let's go. Let's go. James C. is in the house. Forward Rebels. Bill G. Thanks again, Bill G., for your incredible generosity. I very much appreciate it. And Expedition Greg, thank you for your gift and membership to Tuffy Duffy 27. Tuffy Duffy, when you get an opportunity, please say thank you to Expedition Greg for his generosity. Both of you are knighted. Cloak and dagger. Expedition Greg, Buckeyes are on a bye. So the Buckeyes are relaxing with their number one team in the country. Most of Buckeye Nation is probably going to keep an eye on this Indiana Hoosier Ball Club today. The Illini Ted, ooh, yes. My Illini have a big one today. The way the national media is dragging our conference, we need to stay ranked. I wouldn't worry about the conference. The conference is going to be fine. The conference is going to be fine. Just think about, focus on your Fighting Illini. This 2025 season, though, during the season, it has been an eye-opener for those in Big Ten country. The national media, and you might want to say that I've gone into the deep conspiracy hole, but I don't think so. The national media has gone all in on the anti-Big Ten train. I mean, they're all on that train. Every single one of them are on that train. Pretty interesting to watch. Sarkisian is said to be upset about the leak on his NFL interest. Interesting. Thank you, Bill G. Thank you. Ryan Brooks, game day kicks are from 34 yards. Kid was a backup kicker in high school and a soccer player. Okay. That makes sense. That kid, that field goal, man. That may have been his best. Well, it's his most valuable kick he's ever made. That kid, man, that was a shotgun. Rock and rant. I love the total chaos in the coaching carousel if Sark leaves. It's going to be epic. It's already going to be epic. Sarkisian leaving is only going to add more to it. And it's not just the frontline jobs, it's all the backfilling of those frontline jobs. I know there's a couple different reports out there about PJ Fleck once again. I don't doubt for a moment that he has interest and people have interest in him. I don't think it's a lock that he's leaving. But again, it's one of those yearly stories. And Matt Campbell, if he's ever going to leave, it's probably going to be this year, you would think. Yeah, Expedition Greg, I saw that. If you can let me know what where in that 58 minutes that the athletic director of Ohio State talked about the Big Ten capital. I don't have time to go through a 58-minute video. If you know what part of the video Ross Bjork talked about the Capital Investment Fund, let me know, Expedition Greg. I would very much appreciate it. Stephen McNeely is in the house. It's at the beginning. Okay, I'll take a look. First question. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Sark to Tennessee Titans. We'll see. We'll see. Now that it's been leaked, maybe not so much. Who knows? Okay, so we've got, what do we got here, guys? We've got Indiana, UCLA. Can Indiana whip up on the Bruins? That is what is expected. It's not what is needed. I mean, for Indiana to keep their number 2 spot in the country. And now that all depends. If Texas A&M wins on the road today, maybe Texas A&M has a shot to get ahead of Indiana. But Indiana, 17-point victory will probably do it. 10-point victory most likely will keep Indiana at number 2. We'll find out. Or are we going to be looking at some sort of UCLA Bruins major upset? I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, guys. I've been sneezing all morning. Nebraska, Northwestern. That is going to be our secondary game. That is going to be our secondary game today. So again, when I comment about Nebraska, Northwestern, I'm going to be about 10, 15 seconds behind you. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. Okay? So I'm going to be talking about a play that's already happened 10, 15 seconds ago. On the Indiana-UCLA game, I should be a couple of seconds behind you. Only a couple of seconds. So that should not be a problem. Illini, Ted, Indiana's motto at this point is just win. I would agree. Why is BYU the underdog at Iowa State? Why is BYU the underdog at Iowa State? Ryan Brooks, I don't know if you're on something or you're on to something. For me, this is the lock of the entire weekend. This I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is Iowa State is coming off a bye. BYU coming off that emotional victory at at home at Utah. But other than that, I don't get it. If you just take one look at the Iowa State Cyclones availability report, I do not understand this line at all. It is the lock of the weekend. Here's that Texas A&M LSU game. Now, if the Aggies walk in to Death Valley, to LSU, and the Aggies win that game by 10 to 17 points, I think we're going to have two different stories. Brian Kelly's story, of course, and Texas A&M. Could they move into that number 2 spot? They are the lone, only undefeated team remaining in the Southeastern Conference, led by Marcel Reed. All right, guys, here we go. Northwestern has got the ball at their 29-yard line. That is our secondary game. Indiana, that game is going to be starting a little bit later. We are going to keep an eye on all the football games. Don't worry about it. We might have to switch our secondary game. We might have to switch our primary game. Virginia and North Carolina has begun. South Florida and Memphis. Now get a load of this. South Florida, they have defeated an SEC team this year. They defeated Florida. Memphis, they have defeated an SEC team this year. They defeated Arkansas. South Florida is 3-0 in the American. Memphis is 2-1 in the American. Memphis lost their starting quarterback, Brendan Lewis, last week. I don't think he is playing. Holy smokes, he is playing. Wow, he was questionable last night. Okay, all right. Interesting. And then Northwestern, Nebraska, Rutgers, Purdue, Kansas is up a quick 6-0 over Kansas State, Kent State, Bowling Green, Eastern Michigan, and Ohio. So we are going to be trying to cover all the football games. Northwestern gets an early first down. Then it looks like it was a pre-snap penalty on Northwestern. Bill G, lots of interesting matchups today. Bimba 75-79, thanks for coming on in. I appreciate it. Only real sickos like myself could be watching Rutgers and Purdue. They're Illini Ted. If I was not doing a watch party, I'd be keeping an eye on that game. I'm a sicko like you, Illini Ted. I'm a sicko like you. That's why you and I are part of the PATC family. But I can't keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on the score on that game. If you don't hit the like button, your team is likely going to lose. And if you and your opponent both hit the like button, you both are going to win. Well, maybe not. Ken Stromness is in the house. Thanks for coming on in, Mr. BYU Cougar. Bill G, it's tough to play in Ames. Northwestern shotgun, empty backfield. They got 5 wide receivers out. Quarterback back to pass. He blitz. They're throwing a fade on him. Incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Northwestern Wildcats. Northwestern and Nebraska is our secondary game. Indiana, UCLA have not begun yet. Interesting. Northwestern went 5 wide. 5 receivers out. They could not connect on man coverage. 3rd and long. Wide quarterback misfires. Northwestern is going to have to punt. Nebraska's going to get it. Yep, Kansas 7. Kansas State 0. I've got Kansas in that game. TD Memphis. Thank you, Stephen McNeely. Appreciate it. Purdue, a huge run. Northwestern shut out this Purdue team last week. 19-0. And Purdue Boilermakers went up and down the field on my Golden Gophers the week before. Northwestern's going to punt it. Oh! Nebraska's punt returner got nailed. That's got to be a penalty on Northwestern. Nebraska punt returner absolutely got nailed before he could make the catch. It's going to be a penalty on Northwestern or that guy got blocked into. Yeah, it looked like he was blocked right into him. I think they're going to pick up the flag. I think it's going to be picked up the flag. The media is against the Big Ten. Another good reason for Florida State fitting right in. Thank you, James C. TD Purdue. Purdue's up on Rutgers. Expedition Greg. It is a downpour in Norman, and it's expected to be a downpour in Norman during the football game. It's going to be awfully messy. Ole Miss, Oklahoma just started 2 minutes in the football game. Auburn and Arkansas is going to be starting in about 30 minutes from now. Alabama, South Carolina later this afternoon. Missouri and Vanderbilt. Texas, Mississippi State. Texas A&M, LSU, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Indiana kicking it off. UCLA will start the ball. Big 12 action. UCLA returning it. Going to start it at the 26-yard line. We got Kansas State and Kansas. Again, Kansas up a quick 7-0 lead. Iowa State, BYU later this afternoon. The Cowboys and the Red Raiders. Baylor, Cincinnati. Cincinnati 4-0 in the Big 12. 4-0 in the Big 12. The Bearcats. Mountaineers, TCU. The Cougars, the Sun Devils. The Buffaloes and the Utes. All coming at you later today in Big 12 action. Let's take a look at the Big 10. Again, we've got UCLA and Indiana has just begun. We've got Northwestern and Nebraska has just begun. Nebraska's going to get the ball. Northwestern had the ball, had one first down. Nico, I'm leaving on a jet plane, sacked. Almost got back to the original line of scrimmage. Rutgers, Purdue. Purdue has got a quick touchdown, up 7-0 against the Scarlet Knights. Washington and Illinois later today. And then you've got the Florida Rosedale, the Bronze Pig, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin versus Oregon, Michigan State versus Michigan, NBC tonight. 2nd and 12, UCLA. 2nd and 12, UCLA. And we've got a pick six. I looked away for 1 second. Touchdown! Hoosiers!
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Wow. Nico was getting hit. He was almost trying to throw that ball away. What an interception. All right. That is not the start that that is not the start that the Bruins needed. No. No siree. That is not the start that was needed. Nico was sacked and then got hit on his second throw. Wow. Ole Miss leads Oklahoma 3-0. Southwest Ohio, Indiana is for real. Yeah, they were for real last year. They just ran into a buzzsaw, Notre Dame. Wow. Ooh, big play by the Cornhuskers. Big play by the Cornhuskers. Hunter, the receiver. Raiola. A beautiful sidearm pass. First time Nebraska has the football and they are driving down at the 33-yard line of Northwestern. Raiola hands it off to Emmett Johnson. Good run, good hard run. He's full of juice and vigor today. 8-yard run. It's going to be 2nd and 2 for Nebraska. Cornhuskers, they're going to try to come out here and make a statement today. Second and 3. Raiola hands it off to Emmett Johnson. First down, Nebraska. Again, I'm going to be about 8 to 10 seconds behind you all on the Nebraska-Northwestern game. That is correct. Thank you for the reminder, Expedition Greg. Georgia Tech has got a bunch of guys not playing today. Bunch of starters. And a couple other guys questionable, backups. Oh, Raiola got hit when he threw the football. It's 2nd and 10. Again, that offensive line of Nebraska has given up a lot of sacks this year. Nobody picked him up. Raiola got hit at the moment he threw the football. Again, a free shot at Raiola. Raiola has taken too many shots in this season. 2nd and 10. Going back to the running game. Big running room for Emmett Johnson. It is 3rd and 2. Nebraska should just feast her on that run. The architect is in the house. Hello, PATC. Thanks for coming on in. The architect. Alabama Scott Grable is in the house. Thanks for coming on in, Mr. Grable. Indiana kicking it off. It was a pick 6 touchdown for the Hoosiers. And we've got the Cornhuskers driving. Keep running that football in Nebraska. Keep running that football. Keep running that football. They run it. Oh, what a run. 1st down. He broke about 4 tackles. Thank you, Steve McNeely. Kansas State and Kansas are tied at 7. All right, now, Nico had 2 pass attempts. Well, 1 pass attempt. He got sacked on the first play. Second play, he was getting sacked and he threw a pick 6. UCLA ran that ball on 1st and 10 this time. Emmett Johnson is too good. Emmett Johnson is too fast. Emmett Johnson, touchdown, Nebraska.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Way too fast, way too quick. Holy smokes. Northwestern had no answers on that first drive for Emmett Johnson. Nico, back to pass. It's incomplete. That Hoosiers defense is all over Nico. All over him. All over him. Memphis 7, South Florida 0. Virginia, North Carolina 0-0. No, South Florida just scored a touchdown. The quarterback, Brian Brown, rushed for 3 yards, touchdown. South Florida is an extra point away from tying it up, incomplete, UCLA. The Bruins are going to have to punt it away. The Indiana Hoosiers defense is all over the place. We've got an injury on the field. For the UCLA Bruins, Kansas and Kansas State are tied up. Bowling Green is up 7-0. Eastern Michigan, Ohio are tied up. Syracuse 3, Georgia Tech 0. That game is in Georgia Tech. Ole Miss 3, Oklahoma 0. Nebraska 7, Northwestern 0, Purdue 7, Rutgers 0, SMU, Wake Forest, nobody has scored. App State, Old Dominion, nobody has scored. That is your update. UCLA putting it off. Illini 10. Rutgers within the 10, but went for it on 4th and denied. Purdue's football. Good punt return by Indiana, but there is a penalty. There is a penalty. It's probably going to be holding. Block on the back side. But Indiana's going to have the ball. 1st down and 10. Up 7-0. First time we see Fernando Mendoza in the Hoosiers offense out on the football field. Nico Amaliva is 0-3 0-3. Passing. Mendoza shotgun. Quick out. About a 4-yard gain. Elijah Surratt with the reception. The exceptional wide receiver for Indiana. It's going to be 2nd and 4. First down, Indiana. Pitch and catch for Mendoza. Pitch and catch. Indiana runs it on first down, got about a half a yard. Half a yard. First rushing attempt, Hemby. Roman Hemby. Thank you, Expedition Greg. Oklahoma and Ole Miss are tied at 3. Indiana, first time with the football. Flat pass, incomplete. Again, Northwestern quarterback he's going to have to get the ball down. Everything is wide. Everything is high. Northwestern quarterback is struggling early in this game. Preston Stone is 1 for 4. Mendoza, 3rd and 9. Back to pass, Mendoza. He's going to go up in the pocket. He's going to try to run for it. Oh, he gets out of it! Oh, poor tackling by UCLA. Poor tackling. Holy smokes. They had him stopped. Mendoza took off. Oh, UCLA guys are falling down. What a play by Indiana. First down and 10 at UCLA's 30-yard line. Mendoza throws it away. AMAC is in the house. Thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. Northwestern 3rd and 6 at the 29 at their own 29-yard line. Preston Stone back to pass. Going deep. Receiver's wide open. And he makes the catch down at Nebraska's 35-yard line. Incomplete. No, interception. INT, UCLA. Was that off a tip pass? Anthony Carlson. Oh, that was a tip pass. Oh, what an interception by UCLA. Anthony Carlson. Greg, we will do the job and lay down for Michigan tonight again like 2 years ago. Anthony Carlson, you go and you beat those Wolverines. You got it? You go beat those Wolverines. Just do it. Just do it. Line up line up and beat them. Aiden Childs is the starting quarterback tonight, right? Anthony Carlson. He's the starting quarterback, right? I heard he was nicked up, but let me know, Anthony Carlson. Let me know. Sparty, take on the Wolverines. Just go after them. Just go after them. Just let everything loose, Anthony Carlson. Let everything loose. You've got nothing, just play fast and loose. First and goal for Georgia Tech. Thank you, Expedition Greg. Pick 6 for Kansas State. Now the Wildcats lead 14-7. Holy smokes. Thank you, Bill G. Another big play by Purdue. Thank you, Illini Ted. Northwestern dumping it off. Not much there. Nebraska, good defense. It's going to be 3rd and about 8 at Nebraska's 22-yard line. The Cornhuskers are a play away from forcing the Wildcats a field goal attempt. Good Nebraska defensive pursuit. When we get back to the UCLA-Indiana game, UCLA had just got themselves an interception. A tip pass from Mendoza, and they picked it off. 3rd and 8, Preston Stone, shotgun. Back to pass. He's got lots of time, but incomplete. Nebraska defended it beautifully. Incomplete. Northwestern's going to have to kick the field goal. I don't know. Preston Stone had all the time in the world, and when he threw that football, he threw it like he was being hit by a defender. Rutgers holds on to Purdue 10-0. Northwestern with the field goal attempt. Going to be a 40-yarder. From the left hash, right down the middle. Northwestern puts up 3. Don Scruggs. Football is such a simple game. Line up and hit them until you believe you will beat them. We'll see if Smith thought about what you said. I know. It's easy just, it's a lot easier to say it than actually do it. First down, UCLA. Nico with a pass completion. They are deep in Indiana's territory trying to tie this game up after a pick 6. Like I said, I expect to be playing the mariachi music in the middle of the 3rd quarter in this game. The game should be within 10 in the middle of the 3rd quarter. That is my expectations. But Indiana just stopped that running play. It's 2nd and long. 2nd and long. Nico back to pass. Getting rushed out again. Got some yards on that. It's going to be about 3rd and 6 for UCLA. 3rd and 6. Scott Grabo is saying he expects Michigan State to win. Wow. Wow. Alabama is drinking the Sparty Green Kool-Aid. Georgia Tech and Syracuse are tied at 3. Nico. Back to pass. He gets hit while he throws, incomplete. Great defensive coverage. 4th and 7. And I think the Bruins are going to have to punt it. They could not turn the turnover, the interception, into points. I think the Bruins are going to have to punt it. We'll see what the coach does here. D'Angelo Pons, All-American cornerback with the great defensive play for Indiana. Taking a look at the scores here. Indiana up 7-0 over UCLA. Syracuse, Georgia Tech 3-3. Ole Miss 10, Oklahoma 3. 10-3 Ole Miss. Virginia up 3-0 over North Carolina. South Florida, Memphis tied at 7-7. Northwestern, Nebraska, the Cornhuskers got a 4-point lead. Purdue, 10, Rutgers, 0. Wake Forest and SMU tied at 0-0. Kansas State, 14, Kansas, 7. App State, 0. Old Dominion, 7. Bowling Green, 7. Kent State, 0. The Bobcats, 7. Eastern Michigan, 14. That would be an upset. Those are your early scores. The other odd underdog this week is Ole Miss. With Mateer not yet 100%. Is Mateer going to get to be 100%? When is John Mateer going to be back to what he was at the beginning of the season? Oklahoma don't have much. I don't know. No, I did not have Oklahoma in the playoffs at the beginning of the season. I had them finishing 7th. They were my big wild card. I had Alabama finishing 6th. That was a mistake. I had South Carolina 5. And South Carolina, once again, has the worst offensive line in Power 4 conference football. Missouri 4, I'm going to stick with that. Georgia 2, Texas number 1, of course. That's a horrific. Texas A&M 8. Auburn 9. I was a little too optimistic. Tennessee 10. I did not give enough respect there. Ole Miss 11. I apologize, Lane Kiffin. Florida 12. Okay. Arkansas, Vanderbilt. I was not a believer. My apologies. What a moron. The original Minnesota moron had Vanderbilt at 14. Unbelievable stupidity. Unbelievable. I'm either going to have to get rid of that graphic, or I'm going to have to make edit changes without telling you guys I'm making edit changes. But then again, I just told you guys I was thinking about making edit changes. Yeah, that whole thing went pear-shaped. Okay, Indiana. Indiana up 7-0 against UCLA, first down and 10. Nebraska's got the football. Oh, that's right. Terry Nord is the original Minnesota moron. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. Raiola gets about 5 yards on the carry. That is right. Terry Nord is the original Minnesota moron. I am his apprentice. Mid-season update. Yeah, I don't want to go through the... I think I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to do something unethical and change all those preseason graphics. Make myself look a little bit more respectable. Emmett Johnson is rolling for Nebraska. Emmett Johnson is rolling for Nebraska. Just give him the rock. They should have just given him the rock against Minnesota. Northwestern cannot contain him. They can't tackle him. Indiana at the 39-yard line. Mendoza hands it off to Hemby, I believe. 4-yard gain. Nebraska's down at Northwestern's 45-yard line. Play action, Raiola. He's getting a lot of pressure. He had to throw it away. Again, Nebraska's offensive line is unable to block. They're not able to block. Run that ball, Cornhuskers. Run that ball. 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7, Indiana. Crimson Tide, Scott Grable. Mendoza has all the time in the world. Big completion. Down at the 6-yard line. Indiana in the red zone, about to go up 14-0. Scott Grable, I'd love to see Oklahoma and LSU win. Just because Bama plays those two, but I think they both probably lose. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for Nebraska. If I was the Cornhuskers, I'd run this ball 2 times. You're at the 35-yard line of Northwestern. I would not put this ball in the air. Run the ball 2 times, Nebraska. They hand it off. 1st down. No, they're a little short. It's going to be 4th and 1. I don't think Northwestern can stop Nebraska on a 4th and 1 running. It would be raining in Baton Rouge, so that may factor in the take the under. Take the under. Ryan Brooks, definitely take the under. First down, Nebraska. He got it. Run that ball, Cornhuskers. Northwestern has shown no signs of stopping the Cornhuskers running game. None. 3rd and goal for Indiana. UCLA's 2-yard line. I think he's in. I think that's a touchdown. Give it to him, ref. Give it to him. Nope. 4th and inches. That looked close. Then he fumbled the ball at the end there. It's official review at Indiana, UCLA. I don't know what they're going to call there. I don't know if they're going to call that a touchdown down at the half-yard line or fumble. He's trying to reach out. He's down. He's not in. That elbow is down. It was a good mark. A good mark by the referee, in my opinion. Virginia's up 3-0 North Carolina. Memphis and South Florida are tied at 7. Very important game in the American Conference. Nebraska's up 7-3 at against Northwestern. 10-0 Purdue over Rutgers. Wake Forest, SMU tied at 0. Kansas State 14. Kansas 7. App State is down by 7 against Old Dominion. Bowling Green 7. Kent State 0. Eastern Michigan 14. Ohio 7. It is 4th down Indiana at the half-yard line. Does Signetti give it to Hemby again? Or is this going to be a play action? Or a quarterback sneak? Fourth and goal. Mendoza, pretty good athlete. He's going to hand it off. Touchdown. Touchdown Hoosiers.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
All right. The number 2 team in the country, once again, is hammering their opponents. Indiana does not take a week off. They do not take a week off. They're just hammering the Bruins here. Bill Murray is at the Northwestern Nebraska football game. Bill Murray. Looks like he's rooting for Northwestern there. Virginia is up 3-0 over North Carolina. Virginia 6-1, 3-0 in the ACC. Real important game for Virginia. I don't know when the last time the Cavaliers have been in this type of situation. Ole Miss 10, Oklahoma 3 at the end of the first quarter. Nebraska is driving the ball again. Run. Northwestern does not have an answer. The Wildcats, thus far, do not have an answer. Tom DeBay. Bill's a Chicago guy for sure. His son is a UConn basketball coach. So a huge UConn fan now. Thank you, Tom DeBay. I appreciate it. Wow. Wow. Nebraska went for it on 4th and short, and they gave Nebraska a beautiful mark. They gave Nebraska like, wow. They gave Nebraska a good half a yard farther than he went. My goodness. Woo! They're not going to review that, huh? Wow. They are going to review it. I don't know. He probably made it. But I don't know if he got to that line. That was a terrible mark.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world?
Look where that ball is.
Please, Lord, give me
He
a
never
sign,
made it to that line unless the second effort made it.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the...
Woo! Ryan Willie, thank you for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. Nico looks very uncomfortable. Ryan Willie, last 13 games, Wisconsin is 2-10. If Wisconsin loses their remaining games this year, it'd be 2-15 in 17 games. Yeah, that'd be very difficult to support through the off season with that. Well, hopefully, for Badger fans, that Wisconsin can get a win here. Nico's getting killed. Indiana is destroying UCLA. Absolutely destroying them. Raiola, shotgun. Nebraska is running the football. Exactly what they should be doing. They got nothing there, but they should run, set up that passing game. Ryan Willie, I don't know what, maybe the Minnesota game. If the wheels come off Minnesota. But you got Oregon. You got a really tough games again. 2-10. Thank you for the statistics. Well, you said the last 13 games, Wisconsin is 2-10. That'd be the last 12 games. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. Raiola got sacked and the right tackle got destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. TD Oklahoma, Stephen McNeely. Ole Miss, Oklahoma tied at 10. Thank you. I meant 12. Yep. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I very much appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Ryan Brooks, Indiana does not need to take the foot off the gas. I took the over in that game. What was the over in that game? Where is that? Where is it? The over was 54.5. 54.5. Yeah, you don't want Indiana taking their foot off the gas pedal. Because UCLA cannot find the gas pedal. What a pass by Mendoza. He makes all the throws. He makes all the throws. It's going to be 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Does Indiana cover by halftime? Scott Grable. Expedition Greg, 14-7, USF. Ryan Brooks locked it in at 53.5. Indiana just got another first down. Indiana just got another first down. I don't know. Turner Corcoran now is in at right tackle for Nebraska. The starting right tackle who gave up that sack seemed to hurt his right knee on that play. So the old veteran, Corcoran, who's been there forever for Nebraska, is now in at right tackle. Again, they cannot protect Raiola in the passing game. Pass interference on UCLA trying to cover the elite Elijah Surratt. Yeah, that was big time holding. Jared Jones, Mr. Buckeye, is in the house. Thank you, Jared Jones. Indiana looks dangerous. Absolutely. Okay, Nebraska set up for a field goal attempt here. They got some yardage back off that sack. Nebraska trying to get a field goal to get up by 7 on Northwestern. The snap, the hold, the kick, and it is way right. Not even close. Not even close. Nebraska 7-3. The big sack ruined that drive for Nebraska. Again, they cannot protect Raiola in the passing game. Here comes Indiana, 3rd down. Indiana's going to need a 3rd down, a conversion to keep this drive going. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I very much appreciate it. On a Saturday, October 25th, thank you to Bill G, Expedition Greg, and Ryan Willie for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. Thanks for everybody coming on in. Thank you, Ryan Brooks, Jared Jones, Scott Grable, AMAC. AMAC, 21-7, Kansas State. Holy smokes. I did not see that. I apologize, AMAC. Northwestern, 1st down run, not much. But they are going to keep running it, Northwestern. They're not going to go away from their running game. Preston Stone is not a pass-first type of quarterback. Northwestern does not have a pass-first type of offense. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Nebraska's up 7-3. Indiana up 14-0. Shotgun Preston Stone. 2nd and 9. They're going to run it again. They're not going to get away from it. They're not going to get away from it. 8-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 1, Northwestern. 3rd and 1. Later this afternoon, the Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Floyd of Rosedale, which Iowa has, which Minnesota wants, is on the line. 3rd and 1, Northwestern. Quarterback runs for it. Very easy 1st down. 1st down, Northwestern. My thoughts on the Minnesota game. My thoughts are this. The Iowa Hawkeyes offensive line is going to win the battle at the line of scrimmage with the Gophers defensive line when it comes to running the football. But the margin cannot be like last year or most years when Minnesota goes down to Iowa City. It cannot be a complete blowout. If it's not a complete blowout at the line of scrimmage, if it's not, I think the Gophers are going to be able to hang with Iowa because I think Minnesota finally, 8th game into the season, I think the Gophers are going to be able to deliver an offense that has some diversity in it. I think now that Darius Taylor is fully healthy, we think he is. I think Minnesota can run the. They're not going to be the running team, unfortunately, that they've been with Fleck for all these years. They're not going to be that successful, unfortunately. But now they're going to be able to run the ball somewhat, and they can throw the ball pretty good. They got a pretty good, diverse offense. And I think that's going to give Iowa a little bit more problem than most Iowa Hawkeye fans realize going into this game. I think the Gophers' offense is going to surprise the Hawkeyes. I think it's going to be a very close game either way. Northwestern 3rd and 3. That's a penalty on Nebraska. Offsides on Nebraska, get first down. Stormy Cyclone, Minnesota, get used to the beef. No pork in sight. No! Stormy Cyclone, you damaged my heart with that statement. You damaged my heart with my statement. Not going to be able to do a watch party for that. I cannot do watch parties all day long. I wish I could, but I can't. Indiana, 3rd and 7. Mendoza, incomplete. I think the Hoosiers got to punt it. No! Pass interference on UCLA. My bad. Indiana does not have to punt it. Super chat, Ryan Wille. Super chat, Ryan Wille. Do the Ducks cover the 31.5 by halftime? A great run by Indiana. Roman Hemby, Bumble, Rumble, tumbles deep into UCLA territory. No, I don't think so. Ryan Willie. I believe in the Badgers. I believe they can cover at least through halftime. Let's go. Come on, Ryan Willie. Let's go. Indiana is now driving the ball right down the Bruins' throat. It's going to be 2nd and 2. First down and 10, Northwestern at their 49-yard line. They go back to the running game, and there's a big hole. 7 yards, 2nd and 3. The Wildcats are rumbling, bumbling, tumbling against the Cornhuskers. It took the Wildcats a minute, but they've all lathered up now. Mendoza going wide. He got that first down. First down, Indiana. Here comes the Hoosiers. They're about to punch it in again. Northwestern, 2nd and 4. Sorry, I had it 2nd and 3, but it is 2nd and 4. Fumble! Northwestern got it back. Northwestern fumbled the ball, but they got it back. Wow. Bad handoff by Northwestern. The quarterback and the running back Definitely not on this. Ooh, the quarterback tried to keep it. Preston Stone tried to keep it. We've got a super chat. Cyclone, Stormy Cyclone, thank you so much. Greg, have you heard anything gaining traction on the SCORE Act or anything else? The last thing I saw was that Ted Cruz did come out and say, yes, we need a compromise. We need a compromise. I'm interested in a compromise. The SCORE Act as written, the SAFE Act as written, neither one of them are going to pass. Neither one of them are going to pass without major compromise. Get it done, get it done, get it done. That's the last thing I heard. And I think it was that was yesterday. A report came out, Preston Stone back to pass, complete on first down. Northwestern is driving. Ted Cruz acknowledged that he acknowledged that the SCORE Act isn't going to pass as written. And that is going through the House right now. Compromise, 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 but get it done, please. Get it done. And you have to have some immunity to the NCAA or whatever governing body that is. Northwestern, first down at Nebraska's 9-yard line, or a little bit inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be first and goal, Northwestern. A big running play by Northwestern. Again, the Wildcats are not going to stop running the football. There is no reason to. Touchdown, Indiana. Mendoza to Surratt.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Batted away, incomplete. The Hoosiers doing it again. Indiana doing it again. I've had some skepticism that the SCORE Act wasn't even constitutional. Well, whatever makes the SCORE Act unconstitutional would make the SAFE Act unconstitutional. Unless they're just talking about giving immunity to the NCAA. Well, but if Congress is doing it, I don't know. You gotta. I mean, the NFL has protections. The NBA has you gotta give some protections. We can't be going through another 20 years of lawsuits. Can't be doing it. It's just ridiculous. These lawyers are treating college sports as their ambulance, as they chase the ambulances. They're ready to sue. And we got to get away from the lawyers and the agents dominating every news cycle. Safety Ole Miss. Thank you, Ryan Brooks, Scott Grable. Ole Miss is up 12-10. My bad. What happened here? Nebraska called a timeout. And I think it's third down and goal for the Wildcats, I believe. Indiana 21-0 over UCLA. 21-0. 21-0. I don't know how we get to a collective bargaining. I don't know how we get there. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Take a look at the scores. Again, Ole Miss is up 12-10 over Oklahoma in Norman. Very important game. Georgia Tech 10, Syracuse 3. Georgia Tech looking to go 8-0, 5-0 in the ACC. Virginia 9, North Carolina 3. Touchdown, Virginia. South Florida 14, Memphis 7. Another holding penalty on UCLA. UCLA on defense is holding. UCLA on offensive holding. They've got a hold on so many plays to try to stay in this game. The Hoosiers look impressive once again. 3rd and goal for Northwestern at the 10-yard line. Preston Stone shotgun. We got 3 left. 3 wide receivers left. They go right. Screen pass. It ain't going to work. Got a couple of yards. Northwestern's going to have to kick the field goal. Nebraska's going to hang on to the lead. No, we got a flag. We got a flag. What happened? Nebraska had stopped Northwestern. A flag on the sidelines. They're calling it on Nebraska. Oh no, you can't do that. First down, UCLA. Good completion by Nico Amaliva. We got a penalty. After unsportsmanlike conduct on Nebraska. Oh, no, and on Northwestern. I don't know what's going on, guys. I think it's still going to be Northwestern trying to kick a field goal if the penalty is on both teams. We got a super chat. Yeah, Northwestern's going to have to kick the field goal anyway. Ryan Willie, Greg, I want Fickle to be left on the tarmac in Oregon. Yes, I mean that. I know you mean that, Ryan Willie. So you want a complete blowout because for Luke Fickell to get fired after that letter that McIntosh wrote, the athletic director. He wrote it for the students. He wrote it for the fans of Wisconsin. He wrote it for the athletic department. He wrote it for the boosters. McIntosh sent out a message saying that Luke Fickell is their guy, basically, saying that we are going to invest more money in NIL and other things. I think the only way that Luke Fickell gets fired after this Oregon game, if it's complete annihilation. Complete annihilation. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you for the $5 holla. Ole Miss is looking good on offense, as they often do. They look good against Georgia, but they could not pull it out. They could not stop Georgia. Tom DeBay, if the NCAA university presidents were smart, they'd agree to collective bargaining before the big money comes into college football. Again, there is no who are they supposed to agree with the collective bargaining with? Like, who is representing the labor? Ownership cannot establish representation for the student athletes. And poll after poll after poll to the student athletes, the vast majority of them don't want to be part of the union. They don't want to be part of collective bargaining. They don't want to be employees. So it's hard for us to come to that result when the labor doesn't want to be represented, because it's labor that forms the representation, the union. So I am for collective bargaining, but it can't happen because of the owners creating it. It has to be labor. And then again, it's so difficult to create it because you've got student athletes that are only there for 4 or 5 years. You've got all different levels of college representation. I mean, would SEC football players have the same representation as Big 12 football players? Touchdown, Indiana. I would say no. I would say no, because if they did, then they would be underrepresented. The labor of the Southeastern Conference would be underrepresented. So you would have to have all these types of collective bargaining, all this type of representation. It is incredibly complicated. So I've basically given up on that. I think that is the perfect world if we ever could get to it. But I don't want perfection to be the enemy of the good, or the enemy of let's get this thing stable. So I say pass the SAFE Act, SCORE Act, compromise. Maybe the House lawyers could be the athletes' representation. Well, they were. You're talking about the House lawyers, House versus NCAA, the swimmer House, Arizona State Sun Devil. They were basically the athletes' representation during the class action lawsuit. But in that, the owners got things that they needed. It was a compromise. And now we're looking for codification. Kansas State has dropped 2 picks. Jalen Daniels' arm is suspect to a certain degree. I agree with that. He does not have an NFL arm. But Jalen Daniels has had a great season up until this week. Look at Jalen Daniels' stats. Look at his passing stats. So he's been very effective this year. Very effective. Okay. I'm all over the place. I do apologize. I'm all over the place. Thank you, Stormy Cyclone. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you, Expedition Greg. Thank you, Bill G, for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. We got 2nd and 13. It is 7-6. Big running hole by Emmett Johnson. First down, Nebraska. Nebraska should basically run it on about 75% of their plays. All right, let's take a look at the scores. Early on this Saturday, October 25th afternoon, Indiana 28-0 UCLA. We are not going to be watching, or we're not going to be listening to the mariachi music for Indiana UCLA. Maybe we'll listen to the mariachi music for Northwestern Nebraska. Georgia Tech 10, Syracuse 3. Ole Miss is up 15-10 on Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. Big SEC game. Virginia Cavaliers 10, North Carolina 3. South Florida 14, Memphis 7. Nebraska 7, Northwestern 6. Purdue is up 10-7 at half. Purdue Boilermakers 10. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights 7. Wake Forest 10. SMU 3-0 in the ACC. SMU 3. 10-3 Wake Forest. Kansas State 21. Kansas 7. $7-0 Old Dominion. 14-3 Bowling Green. Eastern Michigan 14, Ohio 7. Auburn is up 7-0 against Arkansas. Nico with a very good run. First down UCLA at Indiana's 43-yard line. Kansas is struggling on defense. What the hell, Nebraska? What happened with Nebraska? Jared Jones, explain to me what happened in Nebraska. Did I miss something? Nico, deep. Incomplete. Hit the like button, folks. It's free. Thank you, AMAC. Can the Bruins put up some points before halftime? 28-0. We've got ourselves a blowout. Blowout in Bloomington. It's another Indiana party going on. Let me check something here real quick. Third and 6 UCLA. Nico back to pass. Sacked. Indiana is just dominating. The Hoosiers are just dominating. Jerry Jones, I just expected them to be much better. Yep, that seems to be the story. It's 3rd and long for Nebraska. Again, I'm going to be about 10 to 12 seconds behind you all in the Nebraska-Northwestern game. A couple of seconds behind you on the Indiana-UCLA game. 3rd and 16, Nebraska at the 41-yard line. I would expect some sort of short play here to get some yardage. Yep. Oh my gosh, he almost got first down. Nebraska could go for it here. 4th and short, 4th and 1. Yeah, Nebraska's going for it, and they should. Northwestern gave up way too many yards on the 3rd and 16. Somebody's calling a timeout. Nebraska's calling a timeout here. Kay, thank you for coming on in, Kay. I appreciate it. 24 is the best choice. I think Kay's talking about the playoffs. BYU 26-21. That is Kay prediction. I think that is the lock of the weekend. BYU getting 2.5 points. Viola back to pass. Going for it. He fumbled it. It's Northwestern's football. Rayola. He went back to pass. He was rushed. He went for it. I think he lost it at some point. It was a fumble. Northwestern's football again. Nebraska goes to the passing game, and he's not getting any protection. It's just a jailbreak. Unbelievable. The ball was stripped from Raiola. First down and 10, Northwestern. Not sure what they're going to do here for the remaining of the half. 7-6. They're going to run it. Probably going to run out the half here. Nebraska's going to receive the ball at the second half. 7-6. Nebraska. Wow. At halftime. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half of Indiana, UCLA. At halftime, I'll be taking a 15 to 20 minute break. I'll see you guys for the second half. Nebraska Northwestern is going to be a close one. Indiana, UCLA ain't going to be close. Ain't going to be close, unfortunately. 3rd and 4, UCLA with a great defensive play off a running back wheel route. Pass complete, but UCLA was there. Indiana's going to have to punt it. Indiana is going to actually have to punt the ball. Holy smokes, Indiana. Oh my God. They're going to have to punt it, but they're up 28-0. Up 28-0. Okay. Hey guys, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to go ahead and take my 15 to 20 minute break right now during the halftime of Nebraska and Northwestern. And when I come back, we are going to switch Nebraska Northwestern is going to be our primary game. In Indiana, UCLA is going to be our secondary game. So we are going to be in sync with Nebraska and Northwestern. And again, we'll keep an eye on all the other games, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, all the other games. So right now, I'm going to go ahead. Taking a 15 and 20 minute halftime break, and I'll come back here. And Nebraska Northwestern are going to be our primary game. We'll keep an eye on for the second half. And of course, all the other games in college football. I see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you back here. Kenneth Williams, kickoff return for a touchdown. The beginning of the second half, Nebraska's up 14-6. Wow. Holy smokes. Wow, Nebraska needed that. They needed that. That offense was struggling. The passing offense is struggling. Kickoff return, touchdown Nebraska, and now they kick it back to Northwestern. Wow. Now we'll see what Northwestern could do. 14-6, Nebraska. My goodness. That is just what the doctor ordered. And now we got another penalty on Nebraska after the play was over. My goodness. Cornhuskers, relax. Relax. Not everything is let it go. Let it go. Now the players chewing out the coach. Calm down, young man. Calm down. Every year I have to do the Fat Guy from Minnesota apology tour for my predictions, some of the predictions. And this year, definitely included in my apology tour is Ole Miss. I did not think that Ole Miss was going to be Ole Miss. I did not think they were going to do this year. Especially with going to their, third string quarterback because of injuries. You know what? I keep screwing this up. Hold on here. That's not what I want. So my apology tour is going to start with Ole Miss. And then go to Alabama next after that. But I got a lot more. It's not just those two ball clubs and the fan bases that I have to apologize to. Hold on here. Something is completely pear-shaped with my TV. Hold on. Third and 2, Northwestern. Quarterback sneak, they got it. 35-3, my bad. Thank you, Expedition Greg. Indiana did cover the spread in the first half. Indiana favored by 24.5. They're up 35-3. Northwestern, again, trying to run it wide. About 2.5, 3-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 7. Nebraska starts the second half with a kickoff return touchdown. Northwestern's got the ball, and now they're driving a little bit here. Georgia Tech, undefeated Georgia Tech. Number 7th in the country, Georgia Tech, is up 20-3 over Syracuse. Ole Miss up 22-10 at half. Georgia Tech 23. All the ranked teams thus far are enjoying, except for Oklahoma. Incomplete Northwestern. Virginia is also tied at 10 with North Carolina. So Virginia is in another battle. South Florida, 24-14. 18th ranked South Florida on the road, up 24-14 over Memphis. Again, thank you all for joining us on this Saturday, October 25th, week 9 of the college football season. Northwestern 3rd and 7 at Nebraska's 47-yard line. It has become my primary game because of the blowout with Indiana, UCLA. Preston Stone, back to pass, plenty of time, wide open receiver, but he missed him. Preston Stone missed him. The Wildcats are going to have to punt the ball. Wide open receiver, plenty of time in the pocket. Preston Stone, not even close. Not even close. He did not look good last week against Purdue. He has not looked good against Nebraska. Nebraska's going to get the ball back, up 14-6. They're going to start at their 10-yard line, first down and 10. Oh, let's see what's going on here. We've got statements. We've got a statement here. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Hold on. Statement from the representatives for Coach Steve Sarkisian in the reports regarding communications on coaching opportunities with NFL teams are patently false and wildly inaccurate. Sark is solely focused on coaching the University of Texas football team. Jimmy Sexton, his agent, CAA, puts it out there. Patently false, widely inaccurate. Virginia's got the ball, 4th and 4 at their 31-yard line. They're going to have to punt it to North Carolina. Their first possession of the third quarter, the Cavaliers are in a tight one with the Tar Heels. Wake Forest 10, SMU 6. Kansas State is up 21-14. Kansas has cut the lead 21-7 to 21-14. Purdue's up 17-7 over Rutgers. Arkansas 14, Auburn 10. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Nebraska's got the football. They're up 14-6. First down and 10. Their running game has been good. The passing game has been horrific. They cannot pass block for Dylan Raiola. They go to the running game. Emmett Johnson makes one move and a miss. Another 8 yards for Emmett Johnson. One-on-one, Northwestern cannot tackle Emmett Johnson. Stephen McNeely, what does patently false mean? Not the same as just false. First down, Nebraska. Run that ball, run that ball, run that football. Nebraska completes a flat pass to the wide receiver, but got nothing out of it. Good tackle by Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald is nicked up. Can't quite make it to the sidelines. The linebacker for Northwestern. Should call him the safety. He might have got kicked in the chest there. Yeah, he got a kick in the ribs. 2nd and 14. A loss of 4 yards on that passing play by Nebraska. 2nd and 13, excuse me. They're going to run it. They got some yardage back. It's going to be about 3rd and 8. They're marking him just short. I think Nebraska got a bad mark here. It's 4th down. I think Nebraska got a bad mark. I think he might have gotten that first down. Emmett Johnson out of the backfield. He caught it. I don't know, man. It's 4th and 1. Nebraska's punting it. They're not going to review it, I guess. Was he short? I didn't think he was short. I think Nebraska got screwed on that. Holy smokes. What a punt. What a punt by Nebraska. 1st down and 10 for Northwestern at their 15-yard line. That was a very good punt. All right. The Northwestern's got the ball 1st down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Nebraska could not do anything the first time they had the ball. Nebraska did score on a kickoff return for a touchdown at the beginning of the second half. Stretches their lead from 7-6 to 14-6. Now let's take a look at the scores around the country on this beautiful October 25th, Saturday. The Hoosiers up big, 35-3. Georgia Tech up big, 20-3. Ole Miss, 22-10 on the road. On the road against Oklahoma, 22-10. Virginia 10, North Carolina 10. South Florida up 10 at halftime. Nebraska up 8 against Northwestern, 14-6. Middle of the 3rd quarter. Purdue 17, Rutgers 14, Wake Forest 10, SMU 6, Kansas State 21-14, Kansas, Old Dominion 10, App State 7, Bowling Green up 21-10 over Kent State. Eastern Michigan still holds the lead over the Bobcats 14-7, Arkansas 14, Auburn 10, Akron 3, Buffalo 2. Buffalo is 3-0 in the MAC. Again, Buffalo Bulls are 3-0 in the MAC. That defense is legit for a G6 program. Absolutely, those are the games that are going on. In tradition, in PATC tradition of our watch party, our secondary game is within 10 points in the middle of the 3rd quarter. So you know what's going to happen next. We've got the music, the mariachi music, celebrating a competitive game during our watch party. Let's go. I think we might have played the mariachi music right at the right time, because an interception from Preston Stone, throwing it behind the Northwestern wide receiver. Again, Preston Stone looks god-awful this game. Holy smokes, does he look bad. Nebraska's got the ball at the 32-yard line. Let's just say the passing game in this one has not been anything to write home about, but Nebraska has the edge when it comes to the kickoff return for a touchdown. In the running game, it's going to be 2nd and 6. Emmett Johnson, the best football player on the football field. We got a flag. We got a flag on that. Got a flag on that good run by Emmett Johnson. Face mask on Northwestern. Going to be first down for the Cornhuskers. Arkansas 21-10 over Auburn. Is the Arkansas job even going to be open? Is the Arkansas even going to be open? If maybe Bobby Petrino's going to get that job. MBM Petrino was the answer at Arkansas. I don't know. They've been pretty competitive the short time he's been the head coach. He wants the job. Bobby wants the job. 2nd and 8, Nebraska. Ready to take a much bigger lead against the Wildcats. Raiola throws it in the end zone. Was he in? Touchdown! They're calling it a touchdown!
Touchdown!
What a catch!
Touchdown! Touchdown!
He's in! Yes! That foot was in. That foot was in before his body hit out. Unbelievable. What a catch. What a catch. What a touchdown by Nebraska. 21-6. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Hunter. That was outstanding. That's a touchdown, baby. That is a touchdown. 21-6 Nebraska over Northwestern. 35-3. We've got a couple of blowouts here. I did not like the Georgia Tech game. I've already did a Virginia watch party. This was the time to do Indiana. Tough selection. Tough selection. Let's go through the scores here. Indiana 35-3 over UCLA. 20-3 Georgia Tech. Ole Miss 22-10 over Oklahoma. Virginia, North Carolina was 10-10. South Florida 24, Memphis 14. Nebraska's up 21-6. Purdue's up 17-14. Wake Forest is up 10-6 over SMU. Kansas State 27, Kansas 14. Not a whole lot of good noon Eastern games going on right now. Not a whole lot of competitive football going on. North Carolina and Virginia. Looks like the game. Hugh Freeze won't make it past this weekend. Kansas is losing by 14. My goodness. That's not good for Greg the Gold, I tell you that. I have Kansas in that one. Let's see here. I got Northwestern. I've got Kansas. I've got Indiana. I got Virginia. So right now I'm looking at 1 and 3. I've got Ole Miss. I'm looking at 2 and 3. Indiana, Ole Miss, Virginia, Kansas, Northwestern. Right now I'm looking at 2 and 3. You guys are looking at 1 and 4. Because you guys got UCLA. The PATC Einstein still not a believer in the Hoosiers. Wow. We always have one of these during the season, one watch party where none of our games have any dramatic stuff going on in the second half. Maybe Northwestern can get back into this. But their quarterback, he is not giving their team any plays. I mean, Preston Stone is way off on his throws. Auburn just benched Jackson Arnold. You remember that opening game where Auburn against Baylor, when Jackson Arnold ran all over Baylor? Turns out that Baylor wasn't not all that bad, but not all that good. First and 10, Northwestern. They're going to try to run it because, well, they can't throw it. They get a couple of yards. Second and 8, 7:12 to go in the third quarter. Northwestern's got to get some points on this drive. Nebraska is playing the run. They're not fearing the Northwestern Wildcats passing offense. Preston Stone rolling out, throws it, complete! Now that was the best Northwestern passing play of the day. Big gain by Northwestern. They're up at midfield. They need points on this drive. Northwestern needs points on this drive. Yep, 45-42. Texas A&M over Arkansas. Bobby Petrino. Is he making a good enough impression? Looks like we got a pre-snap penalty on Northwestern here. Arkansas with 21 unanswered points for the Razorbacks. I've seen it, Greg. Thank you. I saw it during my halftime break. Ooh, good run by Northwestern. That's going to be a first down. That was not a pre-snap penalty on the Wildcats. They called that a delay of game, inducing Northwestern on that penalty. Delay of game penalty on Nebraska. So it was the 1st and 5, and now Northwestern just ran for a first down. 5:16 to go in the third quarter. Nebraska 21, Northwestern 6. Reverse. A broken tackle. Northwestern got about 4 yards. Tough Tony's in the house. Tough Tony. He's making a statement. He is making a statement here. 50-0 Gophers.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Second and 5 for the Wildcats at Nebraska's 31-yard line. Running play. Nebraska snuffs it out a couple of yards. It's going to be about 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3.5. You're going to have to play 4. You're going to have to go for it on 4th down. So this can be 2 running plays for Northwestern. That's what I would do. If Nebraska stops you on the next 2 plays, got to tip your cap to them. They're going to win anyway, because Preston Stone, I don't think he can make a 3rd down and 3 conversion. Timeout Nebraska. I don't think Preston Stone can make a 3rd down conversion using his arm right now. He is way off. Third and 3. According to Chip Brown, going deep, it's not even close. I don't know what Northwestern's doing. I don't know what Northwestern is doing. That's a terrible play call. I'm sorry. There's basically no chance of... There's very little chance of that working. Now it's 4th and 3. Now what are you going to do? Well covered, not accurate throw. Preston Stone is just... He has not been good. It's been a brutal game for Preston Stone. I was reading here that Chip Brown of 247. Texas Longhorns, Horns 247 is reporting. Chip Brown heard a couple of weeks ago from a source connected to the NFL, not connected to Sarkisian, but a source connected to the NFL, that Sarkisian's representatives were letting it be known that Sarkisian would be interested in the Miami Dolphins job if it came open. But that job is not open. Not as of yet. Fourth and 3, and I did not understand the Wildcats. I did not understand that, Coach Braun. Wow. I don't think Northwestern got first down in that play. Pass complete. I think he's short. Nebraska calls the second timeout. They want a review of that. Looks like he bobbled. I don't think he got that. Come on, show it here. I don't know what's going on, guys. I have no idea what's going on. They gave it to him when his knees were down right away. But he did not have the ball. When he got the ball, it was that's not a first down. That's going to be Nebraska's football. That is going to be Nebraska's football. And what are you doing, Northwestern? That's not a first down. That is not a first down. He's going to be about a third of a yard short. A third of a yard short. A half yard short. Northwestern, man. Can't they review it now? Yeah, they're reviewing it. It's Nebraska's football. Illini Ted, how much job security does Schiano have? I know expectations aren't high at Rutgers, but they seem to have regressed this year. Well, Illini Ted, that's a very good, I don't know. Now, they did come out, Schiano did come out and said that Rutgers, the administration, the athletic director, they're now committed to a bigger NIL commitment to the football program. What?
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient.
If I was a Cornhusker fan, I would be absolutely livid. I'm not a Cornhusker fan, and I'm absolutely livid. That was not a first down. And then, bad face mask. Northwestern breaks it. Now, I mean, that was brutal. Northwestern's going to have it. First down, goal at the 5 or whatever. That was a brutal tackle. First and goal, Northwestern. But that should be Nebraska's football. But now Nebraska, you can't lose your cool like the fat guy from Minnesota does, okay? You cannot be like me and succeed. First down and goal at the 4. That was a good play call by Northwestern. That was a great play call. A good sweep to the left. Touchdown, Northwestern. Touchdown! And we've got controversy in Lincoln. Touchdown! We've got controversy in Lincoln. No question about it. No question about it. Northwestern's going to go for 2, I believe. Wow. I'm a little stunned right now, Northwestern. We got to go for 2. Go for 2? They're going for 1. $21-13. Okay. All right. Listen up. Let me do this better here. Okay. All right. So Nebraska. Listen to me now. Listen, Nebraska. Listen. Listen. Nebraska, you got screwed on that. That was not first down. And then you almost ripped the guy's head off. Northwestern scored a touchdown. You cannot control that anymore. You only can control what you can control. 21-13. Northwestern got a break, but they took advantage of it. Now, Nebraska, now it's time to give the rock to Emmett Johnson. On first down, on second down, on third down, screen pass to Emmett Johnson, screen pass to Barney. It's time for Nebraska Cornhuskers to finally get this albatross off around their neck. The offense has got to take the ball, drive down the field, and score another touchdown. Forget about what happened. Forget about what happened. You got screwed by a Big Ten ref once again. But you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Don't let the referee screwing with you make it even worse. It's time. Time, Nebraska, to take those bad fortunes and forget about it. Throw it away, get back on the field, and beat the Northwestern Wildcats. Let it go. Let it go, Nebraska. Let that horrific call by the refs, let it go. All right. That is my lecture for today. Jeff Olson, go Huskers. The evil Badger, Jeff Olson, is rooting for the Huskers. Ryan Willie, thank you for the super chat. Wow, Ryan Willie. Ryan Willie, bigger NIL commitment. Sounds familiar. Ryan Willie is talking about Rutgers, the head coach coming out and saying, the athletic director, president, we're all committed to a bigger NIL commitment. Ryan Willie is saying, that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar because that is being promised to the Wisconsin Badger fan base. Thank you for the $5 holla. Ryan Willie, thank you for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Kansas State is up 18 on Kansas. I got that game wrong. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Kicking it off to Nebraska. Another short kick. The return goes out to the 23. First down and 10, Nebraska. 21-13, Cornhuskers. 21-3, Cornhuskers. Run that ball, Nebraska. Run that ball. Now is not the time to trust your offensive line. Run it. There you go. There you go. There you go. There's Emmett. Run that football. Run it again. Second down. Run it again. 2nd and 6. Empty backfield. Going to be 3rd and... Was that a fumble? Was that a fumble? Or did the ball come loose when he hit the ground? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1. Ooh, that is close. That is close. Review that thing. Review it. They're not going to review it. 3rd and 1. First down, Emmett Johnson. He didn't get much. He did not get much. First down, Nebraska. Gary Patcheris. Let's go Northwestern. I can't believe I'm saying that. First down and 10, Nebraska. Another good run by Emmett Johnson. Another 6 yards. Keep giving him the rock. Keep giving him the rock. It's going to go to the 4th quarter. Nebraska's up 21-13. Let's take a look at the other scores around the college football world. We've got Indiana up 42-3. Georgia Tech is up 27-10 on Syracuse. Ole Miss 25, Oklahoma 20. Ole Miss has got the football. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 25-20. That is a great football game going on. Virginia, North Carolina tied at 10 in the 3rd quarter. Memphis 17, South Florida 24. The Tigers lost last week. This week they're down by 7 at home to the South Florida Bulls that got the football. 21-13 Nebraska, and they're getting some first downs. Rutgers has got the football down 17-14. Purdue down 3. 8 minutes to go. No, Rutgers has taken the lead. Rutgers have taken the lead over Purdue 20-17. You know what? I might have to switch back to the... I might have to have that as a secondary game. Put that up real quick. UNC giving Virginia all that they can handle. Rutgers 21. Purdue 17. The Evil Badger, Jeff Olson. Very, very good friend of mine. Gophers got 1 vote in the AP poll. And it was by Utah Utes beat writer. Utah Utes beat writer. He's the one who put the Gophers at number 25 in one ballot. Kansas State is up on 18 on Kansas. So let's take a look at these 2:30 games, 3:30 Eastern time, excuse me. Let's take a look at the rest of the games. UConn and Rice starting off at 2 o'clock. Again, these are Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern. You got the Utah State versus New Mexico, Alabama, South Carolina, 2:30 ABC. Missouri, Vanderbilt. That is a big, giant game. College football playoff implications written all over that football game. ESPN, Missouri, Vanderbilt, BYU, Iowa State. I think this is the lock of the week. The lock of the week. Purdue had a big kickoff return, by the way. Down 4. Purdue ran it back quite a ways. They're in Rutgers territory. Illinois, Washington. Minnesota, Iowa. Toledo, Washington State. North Carolina State, Pittsburgh, South Dakota. San Diego State versus Fresno State. Louisiana Monroe. Southern Miss. Nebraska's got the football. 3rd and 4, up 8 at the 40-yard line. Raiola back to pass. Complete, but not a first down. He's short. Is Nebraska going to go for it here? They're in their own territory. It's about 4th and a yard, maybe a half a yard. Maybe a half a yard. And it looks like Wilson, the punter, is out there on the field going to punt this ball. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Thank you. 21-13 Arkansas. Nebraska's kicking it away to Northwestern. Oh, my gosh. Northwestern's going to get the ball back down 8. And the ball goes in the end zone. Woo! All right, Northwestern. You were down 21-6. Now you're down 21-13. You've got the ball back. Preston Stone is all fired up. Rutgers 21, Purdue 17. It's 4th and 1 for Purdue. That has become our secondary game here. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers for blowing out that UCLA Bruins 42-3. It was never a football game. Northwestern gets a couple of yards on the first round carry. Purdue 4th and 1. No. Timeout. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Greg, do you have a prediction on whose coach is fired next? I'm guessing Hugh Freeze. Because the buyout is so small at Auburn. They can fire him at any time. Stone back to pass, going long. Incomplete. There's a flag. Pass interference on Nebraska. Clutching and grabbing. Again, though, the quarterback's throw is so off mark. I would be tempted not to throw the flag. Oh, yeah, that's holding. Yeah, you got to call that. You got to call that. Again, not a good thrown football. Fourth and 1 Purdue. Again, I'm going to be about 10 seconds behind you on the Purdue game. My apologies. The quarterback keeps it. It is first down Purdue. Northwestern's got it at the 35-yard line. They're going to run wide with it. Good tackle by Nebraska. 2nd down and 10. Purdue is trying to get their first Big Ten victory under Barry Odom. Get him his first Big Ten Conference victory. Pass complete. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for Northwestern. Maccabee comes off the field a little nicked up. The great running back from Purdue, their best football player, came off the field a little nicked up. That's going to be incomplete. Purdue, it's going to be 3rd and 8. 3rd and 2 for Northwestern at their 48-yard line. He bounces it off wide. He's gone! 30, 20, 10, touchdown! Northwestern! Oh my goodness!
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
It was all clogged up in the middle. He bounced it out wide. That's a touchdown. Holy smokes. Northwestern 2 points away from tying this thing up. Khalib Komalov, 123 yards on the ground. Northwestern's going for 2. Northwestern, they got a bunch up high. 4 receivers. They go the other way with it. It's good. The 2-pointer's good. Northwestern has tied it up. We've got drama. We've got drama once again. This is why PATC took this game as his secondary game. I figured we would have drama. I figured we would. This is it. 21-16 Nebraska. 21-16 Nebraska. 49-3. Thank you, Expedition Greg. I'm falling behind on the Hoosiers game. My apologies. Very unprofessional of me. Very unprofessional of me. I apologize to all the Hoosier fans. I'm not used to all those scoring. Purdue has taken the lead over Rutgers with 4:40 to go. Indiana 49, UCLA. Okay, listen. It was 21-6. Nebraska had the lead. It was 4th and 3 Northwestern at about their close to the 50-yard line. A little bit either way. Northwestern completes the pass. I thought the receiver did not have control until he caught it. It was a catch, but it wasn't beyond the first down marker. I thought that was quite clear. According to people on X, everybody agreed with me, but the referees did not agree. They reviewed the call. It was first down Northwestern. On the very next play, the Northwestern running back goes for like 30 yards, and then there was a vicious face mask. Northwestern got it at the 4-yard line of Nebraska. They put it in. They scored extra point. Okay, 21-13. Then Nebraska gets the football. Now, Cornhuskers got it. 21-13. I did a long spiel. I did a long speech to Nebraska saying, don't worry about it. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let go that the refs screwed you. Nebraska goes 4th and inches at their 40-some-yard line, and they had to punt it away. Northwestern gets the ball, and you saw the big play run. touchdown Northwestern. Then they get the 2-point conversion. 21-21. Nebraska and Northwestern in another tight matchup. Purdue, touchdown. Oklahoma has taken the lead. And South Florida is just rolling. Rolling. South Florida is rolling. Wow. Wow. Kicking it off to Nebraska. Okay, Nebraska. Be patient here. Ooh, kicked out of bounds. Nebraska's going to have good field position. Good field position for Nebraska. Okay. Woo! Man, I feel tension right now. My goodness. I don't feel it for Northwestern. I feel it for Nebraska. Interception! Oh, no! Northwestern's got the ball. Raiola throws an interception. I was just saying, the pressure on Nebraska. You can feel it all the way here in upper Minnesota. Raiola throws an interception right after Northwestern ties it up. He never saw number 37. Never saw. Again, Nebraska goes to the passing game. The passing game is lousy at Nebraska right now. Again, they go away from Emmett Johnson. He threw the ball right to the guy. I don't know, man. Now Northwestern's got the ball. You know they're going to run it. They're going to go to the bread and butter. They're going to run it. Nebraska's defense has been out on the field. No, they're going to throw it to the running back. Good tackle. Good tackle. Okay, we got 2nd and 6. My gosh, what is going on? 21-21. It is Greg the Cooler. I know that. It is Greg the Cooler. Once again, he has struck once again. I am the re-elected mayor of Loserville City in week number 9. 2nd and 7. Handoff. There's nothing there. Nothing there. He's going to try to go the other way. There is a little bit of room. Got it. Couple yards. Couple yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4.5. 3rd and 5. Northwestern. Are they in field goal range? 3rd and 4. Again, it is Nebraska's defense that has been out on the football field the whole second half. They scored on a kickoff return. 3rd and 4. I'd run it again, and then I would run it again. If I was Northwestern, I would run this ball twice. If Nebraska stops you, well, you still got the rest of the game left. 3rd and 4. They're going to run it. They're taking it wide again. Oh, my gosh. That left defender in Nebraska is getting mauled by... Oh, they called the flag on that. They called the flag on that pancake block. Did they really call it on it? Oh my gosh, they called holding. I think that was a pancake, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at that. It's Big 75. Watch. Watch. They called holding on that. You know what we call that? We call that a pancake block. He did get the little bit of the jersey there. He did get a little bit of, he did not have to do that. I think that's an okay call. That's an okay call. I did not see the jersey tug, but let's just say 75 did not have to do that. 3rd and 14. We got a timeout, Northwestern. What is Northwestern going to do here? They're going to go for the first down, get close enough to go for a 4th down, or do they get a few yards here to set up for a field goal that would take the lead? Northwestern Wildcats under David Braun is 9-2 in games decided by 7 points or less. I think Hugh Freeze is the most likely to get fired after this weekend. We got him at what, number 2 on the hot seat list? Where do we got Hugh Freeze? We got Hugh Freeze at number 2. And I made that hot list before Florida State came out and basically said Norvell's not getting fired anytime soon because we do not have the money. Because of that, I think Hugh Freeze is definitely number 1 on the list now. 21-21, 3rd down and 14. 3rd and 14. I'm okay with that holding call. But 75 did not have to take that jersey and tug at it. At that point, let him go. 3rd and 14. Northwestern. They never stop fighting. Preston Stone back to pass. He unloads it. Interception! I tell you, that guy. 1st down, Nebraska. Wow. Preston Stone has thrown a lousy football today. Lousy. He's been horrific. And there ain't nobody around him when he's throwing it. Interception, Nebraska. Nebraska's got the ball back. 9-11 to go. Andy Greeter, St. Paul Pioneer Press here in Minnesota. Gophers athletic director Mark Coyle told K-Fan pre-game show that he stopped to see his 87-year-old mother in Waterloo, Iowa on his way down to Iowa City for the Floyd of Rosedale rivalry game versus the Hawkeyes on Saturday. His mother, Mark Coyle's mother, told him, albeit in more colorful language, kick their blank. Kick their blank. I would happen to agree with Mark Coyle's mother on that. Rutgers has got the football 2nd and 2. They got a 1st down. They are driving. They're at about their 5 or 6 yard line of Purdue. 1st down and goal. Rutgers 120 some remaining in the game. Nebraska has taken over the football. Raiola interception. Preston Stone interception. Raiola incomplete, 2nd and 10. .905 to go in the game, 21-21. Emmett Johnson, 3 yards. Emmett Johnson is clearly the best football player on Nebraska, and clearly, I think, the best football player on this football field. It's 3rd and 7. Nebraska's going to have to throw for it here. I don't know, man. Crossing pattern. Crossing pattern, or give it to Emmett Johnson out there. There he goes. Emmett Johnson's lining up. Look for Emmett Johnson. Bottom of the screen. There he is. Emmett Johnson. Again, I don't think he got it. Did they give it to him? Maybe they gave it to him. They gave it to him. 1st and 10. You got to keep feeding it to Emmett. First down and 10. 7:57 to go. Not much there. 2nd and 8. First and goal, Rutgers. Purdue's up 24-21. Nothing there. It's going to be third and long again for Nebraska. They tried a bubble screen, but Northwestern had that all sniffed out. Northwestern had that all sniffed out. 3rd and 7. Again, you got to get the ball into Barney's hands or into Emmett Johnson's hands. John Teal, UCLA can still make bowl eligible. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Be an improvement. Don't give up, John Teal. Raiola back to pass. Avoids a rush. Complete. Big completion of Hunter. 1st down and 10, Nebraska. Athen Cadillac Manis incomplete. 3rd down for Rutgers. 24-21. Nebraska driving the ball, ready to take the lead. Stephen McNeely, 31-24 USF. Kansas State, another touchdown. They're blowing the doors off of Kansas. Georgia Tech up 34-10. Ole Miss 31, Oklahoma 26. Trinidad Chambliss, complete touchdown pass. 2-point conversion failed. 31-26 Ole Miss. Virginia 10, North Carolina 10. 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Running play. Emmett got a couple of yards. 31-23 South Florida. 24 South Florida, excuse me. 21-21 Northwestern Nebraska, 24-21. Not sure what Rutgers is going to do here. SMU is up 12-10 over Wake Forest. Kansas State 41, Kansas 17, 41-17. Incomplete, not really close. 3rd and 7. Rayola's looking for a flag. Rayola has not been accurate. Rayola has not been accurate. Not been accurate downfield at all. Kansas just can't figure out Kansas State. Absolutely, Mr. Cowboy. Absolutely. And I am the moron who took the Rock Chalk Jayhawk this week. Unbelievable. 21-21. Rayola back to pass. Gets it out. He broke a tackle. First down. Down to the Northwestern's 16-yard line. Big play, Nebraska. Rutgers ties it up 24-24. You got to go lower on that tackle. You got to go lower. First down and 10, Nebraska. 21-21. 4:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Northwestern is going to get the ball back. We got to reverse. We got to reverse. Oh, the receiver slipped. Still got about 4 or 5 yards. I like the play call. Good ankle tackle there. 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 for Nebraska. Kansas City's getting ready for some round ball. Auburn is still down. Lots of one-score fourth quarter games. 3rd and 5 for Nebraska. 21-21. 3:41 to go. Fourth quarter. Nebraska wants desperately a touchdown. Empty backfield. Trips left. Rayola goes right. It is complete. First down, Nebraska. What a great drive by the Cornhuskers. What a great response. First and goal. Again, Northwestern is going to get the ball back here with their own time to respond. No question about it. Preston Stone, interception. Nebraska has taken advantage. First down and goal at the 4-yard line. No mistakes, no penalties, no turnovers. Gut check time for Nebraska. They give the ball off. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. Touchdown!
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Well, maybe he wasn't in. Maybe he was not in, but I'm going to keep the score up because Nebraska's going to score on the next play. How about them apples? How about them apples? They're giving them a touchdown. Okay, good news from my beloved Golden Gophers on the availability report. John Nestor is playing today for the Gophers. So very good news for the Gophers. We've got one of our best secondary plays, and he was a transfer from Iowa Hawkeyes. Kansas State intercepts Kansas. All right, 2:44 to go. Northwestern. Can they respond? And if they do respond with a touchdown, does the Wildcats go for 2? I want to thank everybody who has joined us for this watch party. I very much appreciate it. Again, the next time I see you all, it will be tomorrow, the Aftermath Show. The Aftermath Show every Sunday afternoon, talking about the games that had just happened. This now is week 9, so we're going to go through it. Rutgers defeat Purdue 27-24. Shiano is very happy for Rutgers. Purdue loses another tough game. I do want to thank especially Ryan Willie, Stormy Cyclone, Expedition Greg, and Bill G for your generosity. I very much appreciate it, guys. North Carolina is driving for a win over Virginia with under a minute to go. Thank you, Ken Lestromnus. "24 seconds to go in the Virginia-North Carolina game. North Carolina has it at their 34-yard line. Georgia Tech is up 34-10 over Syracuse. That Virginia-North Carolina game may be going into overtime. Maybe going into overtime here. No, I don't want that. I didn't want that. Chandler Morris, 19 of 33 for Virginia, 191 yards. Jamari Taylor has only ran for 60 yards. 17 carries for 60 yards. So North Carolina has outgained Virginia in this football game. But it is 10-10. Expedition Greg, here is a very interesting question. If Miami and Virginia both win out, who goes into a possible face-off with Georgia Tech in the championship game? It would be Virginia. Virginia hasn't lost a game yet. So Virginia has not lost an ACC game yet. Rutgers 27, Purdue 24. Northwestern, first down and 10. They need to respond with their own touchdown. Preston Stone back to pass. Complete down to the 39-yard line. Virginia and North Carolina are going into overtime. Preston Stone back to pass. What a catch by number 84. My gosh. We're going to the 2-minute timeout, and Northwestern has already gotten 2 first downs and have moved the ball. My gosh. John Kurtz, the last time Kansas beat Kansas State in football, George W. Bush was in office. Steve Jobs had just released a new invention called the iPhone, and Netflix still delivered DVDs. Holy smokes. Okay, I got it on the Virginia, North Carolina game. I'm going to be about 15 seconds behind you guys. Or 10 to 15 seconds. Virginia's got the ball. 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1. And it's in overtime. The game is in overtime. I don't know if this is the first possession in overtime. If North Carolina had a possession or not. Wide open receiver, Preston Stone throws it in the ground. Holy smokes. I get it, Expedition Greg. I get it. First down, Virginia. You're welcome, James C. I appreciate it. North Carolina will get the ball next. So this is the first possession of the overtime. First down and 10, Virginia. 2nd down and 10, Northwestern. 1:54 to go. That screen pass should work, but it did not. They did not get the block on Chavez, number 9. Chandler Morris throws it in the end zone. Incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for Virginia. Overtime. First overtime, Virginia, North Carolina. 3rd and 6, Northwestern. They need a first down. Incomplete. 4th and 6. Nebraska is one play away from winning this football game. Fourth and 6. Another just incomplete. Nebraska wins. Another terrible throw by Preston Stone. If Northwestern had a decent quarterback, this game could have been different, but it wasn't. Congratulations, Nebraska, for winning this football game. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers for dominating once again. I appreciate everybody coming on in. The receiver might have been held, but my goodness, the quarterback, even on this drive, Preston Stone was way off. Way off. Okay. First and goal, Virginia. Again, I'm going to take off here. We did our 2 games. I appreciate it. I got to get ready for the bronze. I got to get ready for that pig that is in bronze. I appreciate you all coming on in. Until next time, which is going to be Sunday, from all of us at PATC. To all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, Golden Gophers, let's get the pig. Let's get